There are multiple experiences taking place in this very same space on a different frequency band. When you come out of your front door and you go walking down the road or wherever you live, or you're walking in the woods or some city or town, there is other worlds and other reality fields unfolding and taking place in the very same space at the very same time. So, quantum overlays, energetic templates, the multidimensional playing field. Right now where I am, there are multiple worlds, there are multiple experiences taking place in this very same space on a different frequency band. When you come out of your front door and you go walking down the road or wherever you live, or you're walking in the woods or some city or town, wherever you are on planet Earth, there is other worlds and other reality fields unfolding and taking place in the very same space at the very same time. There are multiple frequency bands, and our vibrational rate here in these human bodies is at a specific frequency. Now, in this very same space, there are other beings having experiences that reside on a different frequency. I mean, right now I'm sailing down the River Nile. We're into our 16-day Egyptian Ascension tour, which we run every single year. And even though I'm on a boat and the boat is moving through other dimensional spaces. Most people in this reality, they're not tapped in, they're not tuned in, their own energetics, their own template, their pineal glands, their right brain, the multidimensional components of them that are accessed through physical components, like the crystals in our brain, are just not finely tuned until people can't access this data. But it's available to everyone. You know, many, many years ago, I used to think this stuff was nonsense. And if you'd have come to me talking about the stuff that I'm talking to you about on this video right now, I'd have thought you were completely and utterly crackers, completely and utterly bonkers. And I'd have been looking around thinking, where are the dudes in straitjackets coming to lock this crazy person up? But when you start to have experiences, you can't unsee these experiences. You can't unfeel these experiences. Hey, beautiful soul, if you like the content on this channel, please subscribe. Remember to hit the like button, hit the bell so you're notified on up and coming videos, and please let me know in the comments section what takeaways you've got from this video, and if there's any other particular subjects or topics that you'd like me to speak on, then let me know. We'll put them in the list and we'll make sure that we speak on them. I love you, thank you for supporting this channel, and remember to share the video with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones. I remember when I was in Romania, I went to this place called Shinki, and when you go to Shinki, you walk up from the car park on the left-hand side, and there's this underground cave. And when you go into the cave, there's a barrier on the right-hand side that you're not supposed to jump over. And there's like a stone table or stone tablet lying down in the ground. If you go into the next chamber, you got a hole in the wall. There's a Merkaba field. They got a sketch of Jesus up on the wall in there. When you go into that room and you stick your head in this kind of piece that's carved out in stone, right next to where the Merkaba field is, your consciousness, it's like it obliterates and dissolves, and you forget you've even got a body. You forget that you're hanging out of a wall and you just disappear into another reality field. There are clues and keys and codes and mathematical access points all over this world, just like the Great Pyramid. When I came out of this little room in Shinki, in this second chamber, I walked back and I jumped the fence where you're not supposed to go. And I laid down on this stone table. And my eyes are closed. And these beings come over the top of me and they start activating these lasers that go into my brain, and I can see them cleaning my pineal gland. I can see them cleaning the corpus callosum, the link between the left and right brain. They're kind of operating on the inside of my head with these green, blue and yellow lasers. Now, this experience went on for a little while. Then I got up and I climbed back over the barrier. I went out and I was busting to go to the toilet for a pee. Whatever work they'd done on me inside this chamber, it was like it was releasing something at the same time. So I've gone around the back of this kind of underground chamber, which is like a spaceship, by the way. I've walked up the side of the bank through some trees, and I start going to the toilet. I look up 2 seconds later, and guess who stood in front of me? Saint Germain is there with 2 other extraterrestrial beings. These extraterrestrials, they're in humanoid form. They were black, like darker than any Nigerian that I've ever seen. And they were just looking at me smiling, and I'm there having a pee. And they're just there in another dimensional space, just observing what I'm up to. And Saint Germain was kind of chuckling to himself. And I said to him, couldn't you have picked another time, brother? And he just smiled. Anyway, I finished going to the toilet, went back down and back into the caves. But this goes to show that there are other dimensional spaces, other fields of experience happening in the same space, quantumly overlaid. But even though they're kind of overlaid because they're all happening in the same space at the same time, they're not really overlaid. They're just happening in a different frequency band. And some of us get to access this stuff and some of us don't. Even though we all have access to it, it's a little bit like going to the gym. If you don't work your biceps or you don't do your sprint training, okay, your biceps are never going to get bigger and stronger, and you're never going to get faster, and your heart and lungs are not going to develop. That sprint getting off the mark, you know, that acceleration isn't going to improve unless you do proper sprint training. The muscles in your legs aren't going to grow. Your joints aren't going to become more supple. They're not going to become stronger. You're not going to become more flexible unless you work at this stuff. I remember several years ago, I went to a crop circle, and a friend of mine called and said, listen, there's a brand new crop circle. I know you're in the area. Why don't you go and check it out? So me and my pal, we parked a car on the side of the motorway, worked out kind of where it was on the grid coordinates, jumped this farmer's fence, crawled and worked our way through all of these kind of crops. It was middle of the summer, it was boiling hot, and we found this crop circle. I had my video camera with me. I sat down in the middle of the crop circle. All of these lionesses and lions, crystal white beings came around me. And I'm doing this light language transmission and this activation. You can actually watch it on YouTube. And when we came out from the recording and I'd finished, we watched the video back, and there was a golden pyramid that had formed around me. Now, you couldn't see it on the camera because my friend was watching me. She couldn't see it around me, but the camera picked it up. This golden perfect triangle formed around me whilst I was in the middle of the crop circle, whilst I'm doing this activation with all these lions and lionesses around me, these lions in their crystalline, crystal white feline forms. Okay, when you enter these different spaces, information is available. Energy, frequency, code, mathematics. When there's a crop circle, it has a frequency range of 700 kilometers. So whatever that mathematical template that gets anchored into the crop circle, it has a 700 kilometer radius. So it's going to affect anything in a 700 kilometer radius, either positively or negatively, because not all of these crop circles are positive. The one that I was in was extremely positive and the frequency was so high. But there are some crop circles that aren't, so just be aware of that if you're ever playing around with crop circles. I remember going to Stonehenge one morning. This wasn't the same time as this experience with the crop circles, but I remember going to Stonehenge. I was stood in the middle of Stonehenge, looking back out to the stone that's way out past the circle. And I'm stood there early in the morning, and this green laser beam comes out of it, goes straight through my forehead into my pineal gland. And I'm getting this crazy activation. My whole body starts shaking. There's energy going up and down my spinal column. The energy around me, the stones around me, they start to activate and pump frequency into my physical body. And my Merkaba field is whizzing like crazy. The Merkaba field is an energetic field that's around all sentient beings. We've got our normal Merkaba field, which is 2 tetrahedrons, and our multidimensional Merkaba field, which is 10 tetrahedrons. Okay, the normal one, it should be functioning properly around every single human just to keep our energetic template balanced. And our multidimensional Merkaba field is something we bring online when we start to access Stargates, our 12-strand DNA templates, our multidimensional transmissions or chakra systems. And it's a whole process to actually activate your multidimensional architecture so you can go through this ascension process. But as I was plugging into this green frequency, my normal Merkaba field was activating. And the whole energetic field in Stonehenge was just off the chain amazing. Most people would go to Stonehenge and they wouldn't access this stuff. Most people would go to Shinki and they wouldn't see, feel, experience this stuff. Most people would go to a crop circle and they would just look around the crop circle. They wouldn't really get those kind of experiences. But there are many people that do. And the people that do get these experiences are the ones that are doing the real work, that are activating their crystalline templates, activating their crystalline mathematics, and really plugging into that crystalline, translucent golden spiral that flows from Mother Earth's Merkaba field, her heart, up through their central columns, connecting the magnetics to the star grids and the electrical energy down to the magnetic earth grids. Once you get these two streams of frequency flowing, you truly switch on. And this information is everywhere. Here on this Egyptian tour, we're plugging into frequencies everywhere we go. Everywhere you go as a human being, because you're a biological computer, you're uploading code and downloading code. So if you're in Egypt and you're walking these sacred lands, uploading frequency being stored in your DNA template, which is just like computer code, I guarantee when you go back to London or back to New York or back to Massachusetts or back to Sydney or wherever you live on this planet, you're going to be dropping off those codes and plugging them down into the Earth's grids. And the trees all over the planet suck those codes up and send them out through their branches, through their leaves. And it's just one great big beautiful symbiotic process that is happening 24/7, 365. And the world is being illuminated through these ascension frequencies. So what's really important is that you plug in, that you connect, that you get into the stillness and the isness and you take a deep dive into your own cosmic heart and you start connecting to these quantum overlays. You start asking to communicate with beings beyond this physical reality, and you'll start to tap in to what's beyond the veil. And there is a whole mysterious, alchemical, geometrical, mathematical set of templates that are waiting for you. When you go into the King's Chamber in Egypt, it's like a spaceship. You know, whether you're looking to get off the ground and into space in a space rocket, you're looking at Mach 33 times the speed of sound, which is 11.2 kilometers per second. 11 plus 2 is 13. If you want to go into the King's Chamber and access that Stargate number 3 to go through the Ark of the Covenant up to the God worlds, then you need to play around with the number 13. Those 13 constellations. They plug into the 13 Stargates. They plug into the 13 spheres in Metatron's cube. And once you get those 12 points on your multidimensional Merkaba field plugged into that system, it creates a beautiful sphere. And the sphere is the 13th point on the multidimensional Merkaba field, which plugs into your heart. Okay, and through that mathematical sequence, you can get out through the Giza King's Chamber, up through the upper chambers, and you travel through this bend in space-time, which takes you through the cradle of Lyra, through Stargate number 12, the Aramatena gateway, up into the God worlds, into the primary light fields, the primary sound fields, and God source intelligence. Number 13 is the key. 49 days after conception, when you're inside your mother's womb, 8 little cells appear. Those 8 little cells form a Merkaba field. You are a vibrating geometrical pattern that is full of hallucinogenics, because 49 days after conception, DMT, dimethyltryptamine, appears in the woman's womb too. So you are this beautiful hallucinogenic in the form of a Merkaba field. You know, you are technology in physical form. You are a biological computer, and your brain is the most powerful supercomputer there is. Your right brain is the key, your female hemisphere, which really shouldn't be a female hemisphere, because there should only be one hemisphere. The right and the left brain should be merged as one, and there should be no corpus callosum, the link between the two hemispheres. There should be one hemisphere. And when you follow a certain activation sequence, your corpus callosum, it turns to plasma, and the right and the left brain, they alchemize. I'll be sharing further mystery school teachings on that on this YouTube channel very soon, so stay tuned. Wherever you are on planet Earth, beautiful soul, know that you're amazing, you're extraordinary, you're powerful beyond measure, and you have so much firepower locked in every cell in your body, but you've got to be brave enough to take a deep dive into your heart to discover these superhuman truths. You're amazing, and I love you. Remember to check out our website, starmagichealing.org. We got some of the best ascension tools on planet Earth. High frequency meditations, light language transmissions, light codes to activate your pineal gland, your DNA, your kundalini, your Merkaba field, your entire light body architecture. We got cosmic yoga videos, high frequency nutrition, mystery school teachings on hundreds of different topics and teachings, so you can navigate this ascension process in the most formidable fashion, with ease and with grace, so you can keep your frequency sky high, so you can become unshakable, untouchable when you're navigating these earthly playing fields. You really are amazing. Remember to go out and love your sisters and your brothers fiercely and ferociously. Hug them tightly and never, ever, ever be the first to let go. That's the golden rule of hugging. You know that, beautiful soul. Hugging is such a beautiful medicine, a beautiful medicine. I'll see you again real soon. I'm going back to enjoy this cruise down the Nile, get a tan, do some exercise on the deck. I'll see you real soon. One love, one heart, one human family. Peace out, beautiful soul. We really are a family. We really are a tribe. Love your sisters and your brothers.